Before we get this podcast started, we want to let you in on a little something. If you shop on Amazon like, I don't know, everybody, instead of going straight to Amazon.com to do your shopping, do your friends at Polititainment a favor. You see, Polititainment.net is an Amazon partner. So here's what that means if you want to shop on Amazon. Instead of going to Amazon.com directly, go to Polititainment.net. You'll see an Amazon banner at the top of the page. You click on that banner, and it takes you to Amazon. You buy stuff like always, but a portion of everything you buy goes to Polititainment. Shop on Amazon and help us grow at the same time. Again, just go to Polititainment.net and click on the Amazon banner at the top of the page. Now, enjoy the show.
One shot, baby, there you go again. 2 shots and I think you know again. 3 shots come, you might find your daddy gone. 1 shot, baby, there you go again. 2 shots.
Hey, we're here. Welcome to Unapologetically Bunny. This is your host, Sam Janney, and thank you for being with us live tonight. You know, when you change things around and you make things a little nuts, you have a new producer. I'm going to blame the producer again. You know, it's always good for me because I always blame the producer when things go wrong. Lucky Rick. He gets to be blamed for everything that screws up on the show. But welcome. We are here on K98 Talk. You are with the Bunny. I know, the Bunny. And I was off last week, guys. I missed all of you. But thank you for being with me tonight on this April Fool's Day. So glad you didn't think I was kidding with you. You know, it's really hard to come back from a break and say, no, really, I'm changing days. Yeah, it's April Fool's, but I'm totally serious. I'm not screwing with you. And people who know me know I screw with you anyway, so it was really hard to convince everybody that I wasn't indeed changing stations and days, but here I am. And thanks so much to the good people at K98, especially Rick, who've been babysitting us, and Grouch. And we are really excited to be a part of this family. And we are here tonight to talk about all kinds of good things. Because, you know, it wouldn't be my show if we weren't talking about good things, right? Absolutely. And, you know, I got to talk about how we change stations. And I apologize. You know, we're kind of like radio gypsies or something, and especially our Polititainment folks. But, you know, when you're a radio gypsy, it means that you're not doing this for a living and that your life gets in the way of doing the stuff you really want to do, which is kind of like this whole radio gig. So you got to kind of bounce around and make sure it works with your life. Much like you guys who spend time with us on a Wednesday night or a Monday night or whatever night you decide to come by, you're giving us your time, and we're trying to make time for you that works for us. So thank you for messing around and not holding me accountable for changing my nights, and thank you for following me wherever I go. I can't thank you enough for being here with me. My guest tonight, guys, you know, this is an interesting thing we're doing tonight. You know, typically I try really hard not to bring any Twitter drama into my show, because if you're not on Twitter, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about and you really don't care. But, you know, this kind of goes back to when I left, I exited Twitter. It was because of a certain individual who I will not be giving any credit to tonight. But I left. And when I left, it was because I was being stalked and harassed by a certain individual, and he had a co-host on his show named Watson Prunier. And Watson has agreed to come on the show tonight. To give Watson some credit, he did walk away from all that nonsense that was going on with the person who was stalking and harassing me, and apologized and did what he could to make it right with me, which I really thought said a lot about him as a person. And so what I'm trying to do tonight is show you all that people can be adults, that we can talk to each other, that we can find a peace, find a dialogue, and get back to business as conservatives. You know, and I know Watson and I have disagreements on things. I know he's much more of a social con than I am. And so it's really a healthy discussion to have between two conservatives, especially when we're looking at 2016 and the importance of us getting along and working together to make things better in this country. And I realize there are lots of things that are wrong beyond just getting along. I know we have lots of issues within party. We have establishment guys. We have progressives in our party. It's not just the Democrats that have the progressives. The damn conservatives have them too. So there's bigger problems to look at. But if we start repairing the smaller problems, especially if we have infighting and bullshit and drama, let's get rid of it. Let's get over it and move on and start working together. And so I invited Watson to come on tonight to chat with me a little bit about how things have gone on, what's changing. And I know he's also a great radio host, and I want you to find him and listen to him because I think he really deserves that. It took a lot of courage for him to do what he did. It's really hard to say you're sorry. It's also even harder to admit you were wrong. And so I want to give him that respect, and we're going to do that tonight on the show. But before we get there, I have to rant. Now, you know, it wouldn't be a bunny show if I wasn't ranting about something, and I got to rant about this damn Indiana law. Now, don't get me wrong. It's been back and forth in my head for about a week now about whether or not I support the legislation. At first, I was just like, damn it, just either make the cake or, oh, I said cake. You know, I promised I wouldn't say cake. Damn. Make the baklava or don't make the baklava, you know, but don't say, hey, I don't support your gay marriage. So, you know, I'm just not going to actually do your cake. I'm just going to ignore you. And, you know, don't do that. Just say, you know what? I can't actually make your baklava because I don't have time right now. My bad. Or find a reason. But then I thought more about it. I thought more about the legislation and why they put it in place. It's because what's happening at moms and pops, bakeries, photographers, florists, pizza shops now. What's happening? People go in, they say, we want your service. They say, what kind of service? They say, well, let's say it's a Muslim wedding. Let's go outside of the box here. And someone doesn't want to support a Muslim wedding, and they're getting sued. A gay wedding, they're getting sued because they're saying it's discrimination. So this has been making me crazy. Because I am a same-sex marriage supporter, as long as it's two consenting adults, I really don't care. It's none of my damn business. So that's that part of it for me. But I'm also a person who believes in religious freedom. So how do we do both, right? How do we look at, I support this group wanting to get married, but I also support this group who don't want to be a part of that ceremony? How do we work that in? Well, as you know, the left, of course, is going to throw a hissy fit, and they're going to make sure that they protest and make it as dramatic and sparkly, unicorny as they can. And they go in and they shake their fist and they're boycotting a whole damn state, which makes a whole lot of sense, but whatever. Because you know there's no gay business owners there. So that's what they do. They go in, they have a dialogue to say, oh, here's this law, and this law says gay people are bad. It's discrimination against gay people. And it's Christians hating on gays. So we're going to make this all about the gay agenda. Which irritates the shit out of me because a lot of gay people don't care about the gay agenda. They want to be left alone, do their own thing, live in freedom. They don't want to mess with the other part of it, right? They don't really want to be out there shutting down pizzerias. They want to just live together and do their life in the way they want to do it. And the damn activists get involved and it becomes a mess. So how do we do it? How do we look at both sides and say, you know what, both are okay? Well, my whole point is it's about the individual, being an adult, minding your own business. You know, and I've said many times now, let the market decide. And that, of course, has not been all that popular with the left because, you know, the market's evil. The market allowed Jim Crow. I mean, it's ridiculous the things they say. And of course, yeah, they're comparing the whole gay issue, which really doesn't exist in the law, to blacks. So now we're not only homophobes, but we're racist. But we're always racist with the left, right? But in the end, if we respect the individual, if we look at the individual and we don't think about what is not our business and we act like adults, guess what? Everybody's happy. I am a baker and I bake balaclavas. I'm sorry, I'm not saying cake. I said cake. Damn it. I make pie and I make pie for everybody. But I don't want to make you a pie, so I just tell you I'm too busy. Or if I say, you know what? I don't support what you're using the pie for, so I don't want to be a part of it. Okay, I'm the person who wants the pie. Oh, okay, well, screw you then. I'm going next door and I'm going to put you out of business that way. I'm not going to go tell the government and say, oh, please, you know, so I'm going to sue these assholes. No. I'm going to go out into the businesses and I'm going to find someone else to make me a pie. And I'm going to tell everybody I know that you refuse to make me a pie. That is how the market works. You talk to anybody who has ever owned a business or anybody who has ever worked in retail, they will tell you that it's really the customer that you don't want to piss off. Government's a pain in the ass. It really is. But at the end of the day, one angry customer tells 10 customers. Go that route. Don't go to the government. Don't sue, because that's really ridiculous. We have become so sue happy that we need laws to protect the Constitution. And that was my big issue with the whole piece of it in the beginning, was why isn't the First Amendment enough at this point in America for us to protect our religious freedom? Why do we need a law on top of it saying, yeah, the first, that is how it works, religious freedom, you can't sue these people over their religion? Why do we need another law on top of that? I'm not a big fan of more laws because of a law. I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense. So maybe get back to the Constitution. I know, crazy talk, Constitution. But you know what? If we could get back to that simple piece of paper, y'all, and pay attention to the law of the land and not look at the government trying to run things for us even more. This is what kills me. We need the government to protect us from the government. And is that not the biggest crock of horse shit you ever heard? And people are saying this is what we should do. They are boycotting industry in Indiana. Apple, who has factories in countries that kill homosexuals. Hello. Hi, Indiana. You guys are supporting a law that protects religious freedom. Shame on you. You know, give me a break. There's a coach in the NCAA from UConn who's not going to go because he's boycotting Indiana. You know how many coaches and other players would love to be in his shoes, and that asshole is not going because he has a beef with a law? Fuck him. I'm sorry, but that makes me crazy. I've been watching that tournament. I know how hard it is to get in that tournament. I know how much it means to those young men and those young women and their families and all of them. And that jackass is not going because of a damn law that has nothing to do with him and means nothing that he says it means. What a jackass. And really, that's what it boils down to, is a bunch of jackasses acting like jackasses. You know, it's like, what is that pizzeria? Memories Pizza or whatever, Memories Place or whatever that is. They're a place that got set up by a reporter who went in and asked them, you know, would you cater a gay wedding? And they said no, they wouldn't. Now, it wasn't that someone said, I'm having a wedding, please come cater it. It was, would you cater a wedding? And they said no. Well, it could be that they don't cater anything because they're a pizzeria, dumbass. Why would they be catering a damn wedding? But even if they don't because of their religious beliefs, do we have the right to send them death threats and shut them down? They have suspended working hours. They're not open right now because they are being attacked by the victim mafia is what I heard. The mob. The mob is after them because they will not cater a gay wedding. Ironically, you know, they are the ones calling Christians bigots. They are the ones saying Christians are haters. Who are the haters? Who is shutting down businesses? Who is boycotting an entire state? Who are the real bigots, guys? They are the real bigots. And you know what? If you point that out to them, oh my God, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, anyway. I had to rant about that. It has been making me nuts. Yeah, Memories Pizza. They're the ones. Thank you. Memories Pizza. They're suspended hours. Now, there are people who have set up a GoFundMe to help keep them in business, and that is how the market works. What do you know? People support what they're doing. They go out to help them. People don't like what they're doing. They don't go there. Pretty basic, right? Right. Okay, well, you know what? I've been ranting a little bit. I'm going to take a short break. We're going to see how that works at the break. And when I come back, I have this week's Top 10 Douchebags, so stay put.
Hey everybody, this is Jason, host of According to Me. I'd like to invite you to check out my show. It's a 2-hour show that lasts 60 minutes in... listen, I hate to interrupt, but one thing I can do is read off a script. Just say, let me be clear a lot. It works. President Obama, I can handle this. It's a radio promo. I'm not green. I've done this before. Did someone say green? Now, Al Gore is here. Listen, I'm just trying to record a radio promo. Do you mind? Now, do you say good things about me on the show? No, not at all. But if it makes you feel any better, I rip on Republicans just as much. The AM radio frequencies give off very high levels of radiation. Look, my show show is on the internet, which you invented. I mean, can I just do my promo?
I got a pen. I can veto that, you know.
I know you got a pen. It's not a law. It's a radio promo. Just listen to my show. Barack Obama and Al Gore hate it, so you're going to love it.
Here's an executive order. Don't listen to his show. He doesn't like me. He's racist.
And he doesn't recycle either.
That's it. I'm done. It's According to Me, Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on K98 Talk.
The staff of K98 Talk and the Spark Radio Network is proud to announce that our very own Rowdy Rick Robinson has been selected as one of the top conservative talk show hosts in the nation for his program, America Off the Rails. Again, congratulations to Rowdy Rick Robinson for a job well done and another reason to stay connected to K98 Talk and the Spark Radio Network.
Bunny. I am your host, the Bunny, ever compassionate and sweet and kind. And I am here on K98 Talk, and we have been talking about Indiana. Oh, Indiana, what fun you are to talk about. You know, what kills you is it's not just Indiana. The law is in, 19 other states, and Bill Clinton passed a federal version of it in 1993 that Chuck Schumer wrote. But hey, you know, it's all about how Republicans hate the gays, so... Speaking of that, let's talk about douchebags. If you are new to this show, and if you're not, thank you. But if you are, the top 10 douchebags of the week, we do that every week. And it comes from the good people in social media. That means you. You guys nominate for me top 10 every week. I put them on the show. I actually will write down almost word for word what you send me to read off during the show for the top 10 douchebags. So the list really belongs to all of us. Happy day. Okay, so let's get started. At number 10. Is the Department of Justice, for shocker, not pressing charges against Lois Lerner. And per her piece of shit attorney, Chad Pergram, he whined about his client's constitutional rights and accused the House of playing politics, because you know it's not playing politics for the IRS to target conservative groups at all. Wow. Unbelievable. Okay, nobody's shocked they didn't press charges against her, right? Right, because hello, they're really going to prosecute her when they have to admit they were doing something wrong. But that's probably why Hillary's laughing in the face of Gowdy, saying, hey, you know what? I wiped all those emails away. What you going to do about it? Clearly, we're not going to do jack shit about it. And at number 10 is the Department of Justice. At number 9 is Sally Cohn. Poor old Sally Cohn. You guys love to nominate her for this list. I think this is like 5 weeks in a row she's made the list. Sally Cohn for being Sally Cohn. And following Sally is no surprise that she is on Twitter having a fit over the RFRA, a.k.a. the law that hates gays. Okay, you know, Sally, I can't believe she hasn't found a way to tie the whole law in Indiana to Islamophobia, because that's like her total thing right now, is blaming everything on Islamophobia. You know, oh, we have a deficit, Islamophobia. You know, that's what her thing is. So I'm really surprised she hasn't somehow tied this into being something to do with Islam, because, you know, that's how she is. But of course, you know, Sally is on top of the RFRA, calling it all kinds of things. You know, we're prosecuting and persecuting the gays and how they want to get married, blah, blah, blah. Really, nobody cares. The only people who care really are you guys. And Sally, for a multitude of reasons, you are a douchebag, but you're at number 9 this week. At number 8 is Harry Reid. Harry hasn't made the list in a while, so it was good to see you guys nominate him. Harry Reid admitted he lied about Romney. Did you guys see this? He admitted he lied about Romney not paying his taxes. And he's not sorry he lied. And no one is holding him accountable but Megyn Kelly, who really kicked his ass in her show last night. You know, to think his lie was used to attack Romney could have actually cost him voters, and there are no consequences for that. It says a multitude about not only how ugly he is, but how ugly our system has become and how gross politics has become. Because Harry basically said, oh, yeah, I lied about Romney. I'm retiring. You know, it's no wonder someone beat the shit out of him, because he obviously deserves it for something. I'm hoping that's karma that kicked him in the head and not some, what was it, eclipse machine or whatever, ellipser or whatever the hell it is. I'm hoping it was actually karma that kicked him really hard because he clearly deserves it. To lie, flat out lie. I mean, and we know they lie. So it's like, okay, yeah, shocking. But to say he's not sorry, even though he could have cost Romney the election, says a lot about what a douchebag he is. And he is a douchebag at number 8. At number 7 is Michelle Obama. For starting, she loves Twitter, guys. She started a hashtag called Black Girls Rock. Now, look, I don't disagree with that Black Girls Rock. Fine, they rock. But why segregate, Flotus? Why not just say all girls rock or just girls rock? Why denote a color? I'll tell you why, because she's a racist. And she really is. It's all about what can she promote to divide by skin color. All black girls rock. Well, how about all girls rock? Or girls rock? Or women rock? Or how about people rock? Or just shut up and get off Twitter and do your job. Oh, did you guys see that? Speaking of her doing her job, she went to Cambodia or something, and it was $240 some odd thousand to spend 33 minutes actually doing something for her job. That is 5 times the average household income in America. 5 times, guys. And she spent that in a half an hour of work. Yeah. And she's a douchebag at number 7. At number 6, social justice warriors trying to take on the gun people. Did you guys see this? They started a tag on Twitter called NAR Horse. As conservatives often do, we destroyed their hashtag, made fools of them, laughed our asses off, and then laughed some more. They think they can dictate what we think. They've been trying to do it to the gamers. They tried to do it with comic books. I really suggest they not mess with gun people. First and foremost, we're pretty damn mean. And second, we are armed. So why would you ever cross somebody who could probably pop you if you mess with them? But apparently they thought that would make some kind of statement calling gun people whores. Like we're all going to melt and cry because they called us a name. Lots of us, including yours truly, got involved on the tag and mocked them endlessly and, of course, took the tag over. So you social justice warriors, well, you've been a douchebag for the gamers, you've been a douchebag for the comics, and now you're a douchebag for the gunners at number 6. Number 5 is Hillary Clinton. Surprise! We here at Politainment, with the help of Bill O'Keefe, broke this weeks ago. But guess what? It's been proven Hillary had more than one device. God, that sounds really gross, but I'm not talking about that kind of device. I'm talking about phones, people. She had more than one. As if any of us believed her dumbass anyway, and it turns out they might be able to recover those emails she so smugly said she deleted. Lefties, if she is really your best bet for 2016, you are in trouble, because we know she's a douchebag at number 5. Number 4, California. Yes, the entire state. Congratulations, you're a douchebag. California for being a bastion of liberal ridiculousness. And Jerry Brown for actually putting a mandate around water usage. Wow, guys, California is really in trouble. And, I wouldn't mock the state so much if they weren't such a pain in the ass about their policies and what they allow and what they've done to their state to create these kind of problems. He's mandated water usage. Hello, Venezuela, we're looking at you. This is socialism. This is what happens with socialism. And California is total beacon of that socialist idea. And Jerry Brown is like, we're just going to limit how much water you use. We're going to put a mandate around it and be done with it. Yay. So California and Jerry Brown, you guys are douchebags at number 4. Number 3, idiots declaring the RFRA somehow only protects Christianity and will be used to set gays on fire or something. Yeah, because, it's really become this dramatic war or fight about how we're going to discriminate against the gays with the law. And I've been talking about it forever, and I'm tired of it. But I'll tell you what, these people are real, and they are real douchebags at number 3. Number 2 is Dr. Leah Therese. Have you guys heard of Dr. Leah Therese? She's an OBGYN. I know, and she's a doctor. She compared a miscarriage to manslaughter on Twitter. She said basically if abortion is murder, then miscarriage is manslaughter. And then she was shocked that people were upset with her for saying that. And of course, people who are all about pro-abortion, they were all over and they were all up in her face and all up in your face if you're defending her and on her case. And it's unbelievable to me how gross and ugly people really are. If you want to see the bottom of the barrel of the ugliest of the ugly, do me a favor and talk to a pro-abort because they are disgusting. And Dr. Leah Therese, she is definitely number 1 on that list, and she's a douchebag at number 2. Number 1 is Obama because, well, he's Obama. Oh, yeah, and that whole Iran thing where they refuse to remove the whole "we will fucking destroy Israel" piece. Yeah, he sucks for that too. But what's been the most interesting this week is how little we've heard about him with Hillary's email and the Indiana law. Always watch what the other hand is doing. Now, I can tell, and if Watson, if you're listening, I can see you trying to call in. I'm having some technical issues. We're going to go to break, and I'm going to try and bring him in. Stay put. When we come back, I'm going to talk to Watson Prunier. You're on Unapologetically Bunny. I'll be right back.
Members of Congress, I have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you the President of the United States.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Vice President, members of Congress, my fellow Americans. Free stuff. Free stuff. We've created 12 million jobs in the last 12 days. Free stuff and free college. Free stuff, equal pay for women. Free stuff, I'm going to have Joe Biden do things. And free stuff. We've got crumbling roads and bridges I still haven't fixed yet. Let's see, more free stuff. Climate change. Free stuff, let's work together. Because that's what Americans want us to do. In the interest of bipartisanship, I'll veto everything Congress proposes. More taxes for more free stuff. And I'll end with this. Free stuff. God bless you. And may God bless this great country we love. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Watson, and he's tried to call twice. I'm having technical issues. I've asked the producer. I can't blame him for this. It must be on my end. We're going to try and call him in. In the meantime, you're stuck with me till we get a hold of him. And I know you just can't stand to listen to me talk anymore. But too bad. You're on Unapologetically Bunny with the Bunny. And what's really interesting is I always worry about this when I book a guest and I prepare for the first half hour. I think, what the heck happens if I can't get my guest in? And I used to tease Clay when he would produce me that I'd bring him in. I might bring Rick on if we can't get Watson in. I'm hoping we can get him on because I really do want to talk to Watson about everything that's happened on Twitter with I guess they call it a Twitter war. But, it takes a lot to do what Watson did and admit it was wrong and come out and say he was sorry to a lot of people. And to give him some benefit of the doubt, it's really hard on Twitter to know when someone is legit. Oh, we're calling him. I hope he doesn't think we're pranking him. One time I pranked someone, she hung up on me. I have a hat. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Is this Watson?
Hello? Yes, this
Hello?
is he.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can.
Perfect.
Yay! I'm sorry you couldn't get through. New technology night for Sam, and Sam blew up her Skype. So, what are you going to do? But we have a producer who knows what the heck he's doing, so thank God. And I'm glad you're here. How are you, my friend?
I am doing really well. I'm just excited to be on. She's been cracking me up as I've been hearing the show.
Well, it's an interesting show. I would apologize, but I'm just really not sorry. But I'm really glad you agreed to come on, and I'm so grateful to you for reaching out and just being a human being, which is so rare when you deal with anybody on Twitter or in social media. And I know I say we should be using it and really working with it, but it takes away part of that human being, doesn't it? Yes, and you came out as a very human person and said, I want to say sorry and let's talk about it. So thank you for doing that. And now let's talk about it. Are you cool with that?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm good. One of the things I wanted to say, so you got my email and I want everyone to hear, Bunny, I need you to forgive me for following a false narrative and attacking you, believing the lies of a misguided individual.
But, here's the thing, and this is when I'm not someone, believe it or not, I come across as real hard ass. But at the end of the day, I'm not someone who's going to hold a grudge. I'm not somebody who stays angry very long. I get mad quick, but it goes away. And that's one of those things with I think it's the German in me. I don't know. But I don't stay angry. So I forgave you the moment you said you were sorry. Because in my mind, it's really easy to get in that and fall into line with that kind of thinking and with those kind of people. Because even though there is a false narrative, there's a very charming side to that situation. It's really hard not to.
Yeah.
And there's things you want to believe. And trust me, I have been there myself. So for me, it's done. We're good.
But see, here's the thing that just annoys me is because of the fact that, so I'm not the only person. There are many other out there who are following false narratives. I never listened to your show before because of the fact that I took the word of one individual. And I'm sitting here and I'm cracking up because I was like, wow, that's hilarious. Wow, that's pretty played. Wow, that's pretty upfront. Wow. Like I'm listening. Yeah. I was listening to Wayne the other night. I never listened to Wayne because of the fact that I took the word of one individual. And it's really sad because, there's so many voices out there. And here's the one thing that annoyed me the most. Here's the thing that annoyed me the most about that situation is that there was this constant insult about the quality of what you say on your show. There was a constant insult basically saying that you don't have style, all these stupid things, and then even complaining about who you were bringing onto your show. Now, you said something earlier. You said something earlier about the whole idea of we have a First Amendment right of free speech. Everybody has a right to say whatever they want to whomever they want. And why rob you of your talent, of your skill to promote the truth and and force people to think? Why insult you because of doing that?
Well, and it's okay. It's an interesting thing because I've never understood why this person had a problem with me. It's never been clear to me why the attacking and all of it started. If it's the thing about, well, I'm on the air and you're competition, so I'll destroy you, or I have no idea. And to be honest, I really don't care. I went through the whole being intimidated thing and the comments about me cheating on my husband, and it just got really horrible for me there for a little bit. But at the end of the day, I got to move on. I got to be here. I have a responsibility now. And I think you're at that point with what you do is you figured out you have a responsibility. And that responsibility is to share your message and your voice. And it's not to be worried about some individual trying to take you out or hurt you because you're doing it.
Exactly. And I feel bad because, and I'm glad that the mayor and Tom, that we have a truce, we have a peace, we've wished each other the best, and that's all we want to see is the best. I mean, isn't that what you were saying about conservatives coming together? Isn't this what we need to do when we have half the top 10 that you just listed are constantly trying to take away our freedoms?
Right.
Like, we should be pulling our resources together to put an end to the madness.
And the unfortunate reality is our madness is beginning to equal the left's madness because we are so wrapped up in our own crap that we cannot extend out and work on what we need to be working on. The enemy, and I hate to say that, they really have become an enemy almost, is the other party. And we're beating each other up. I don't get it.
Yep. I don't get it either.
And I respect that how I do my show and how I tweet is not for everybody. Trust me. I used to joke about putting like an R rating on my bio because I am definitely not I'm not soft-spoken and I'm not always polite. And I say words probably that offend people. But I think we need that diversity inside of what we do. If we're all saying and behaving the same way, who's listening?
Exactly. Because we don't want to parrot each other. We don't want to parrot each other. And you have your unique style that you have to bring forward. I'll tell you, it was this was really funny. I was so deceived in this whole process about supposedly us being like the number one program out there, and all you guys were were just jealous. And you were trying to shut us down. It was. It,
Well, you know what? I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to believe that. And, I come across as this mean bitch. It's easy to believe Bunny's out to get ya. It's easy to believe that about me because if you get on my bad side, I probably am out to get you eventually. I mean, it's okay. But I'm so glad, though, that that kind of, it's like there was a barrier and we weren't able to get beyond the barrier and go, what the hell is your problem? We were too busy defending ourselves to even talk to each other. And at the core of it was a person who I'll tell you, I think he has talent. I think he could do a lot of things if he would just stop trying to hurt everybody to make himself feel better, if that makes any sense.
Exactly. Oh, that makes complete sense because he spends more time attacking individuals, creating sock accounts to attack individuals. And it's like, you know what? All this energy that you're putting together, you could literally be out there doing something positive. I was on him since day one. I said, stop fighting with them. Stop fighting with them. Just don't respond to them. Just don't respond. Leave them alone. Move on. But he just was like, oh, I'm going to represent the truth, and
that's
I'm
good. We need him,
truth.
and that's great. I get it. I do. He needs to represent the truth. I'll tell you right now, I'm getting hit with a follow bomb. I bet you I'll have 25,000 Russians and Indonesians who like me here in about a half hour. And at first, it really pissed me off. I'm like, oh my God, I have 50,000 people who are not real. But if that makes him feel better at this point, if he needs to do that, I'm good. I'm done.
Yeah,
if he needs to hate me to feel better about himself, I guess I'll pray for him. And I'm not often overly religious. I'll admit it on my show, but clearly there is something there that I need to pray about, and I will do that for him.
Yeah.
And I'll laugh about him, and I'll delete him. It'll take me a week, but whatever. If he feels better, he feels better,
agree.
right?
Yeah, you know what? And it's funny because there was this. They have the Lego movies, right?
Yeah, I love the Lego movie.
So think of this. I want to see if you can see this in your mind of how I was going to do this. So there was going to be a scene, and I was going to make Lego characters of all of you guys. So there's going to be a Lego character of you. There's going to be a Lego character of Michael. There was going to be a Lego person for Grant Tweets, Tracy, you name it. And all your hands would be pushing this object that you just couldn't move. And it just wasn't going to go anywhere. And, my character of you would have been like, why don't this please thing not move?
I love it. But I love it. I need to be a Lego bunny, man. You got to make the Lego bunny happen.
Exactly. So Lego bunny, your whole group. And so you've got Tom and you got the mayor on the ground. And Tom's going to, of course, have his hat. And Tom's gonna have his arm around Lego Charlie's shoulder, and it's like they just won't give up, will they? They just won't give up, will they? And so when you pan back, the picture was a big Q that you guys were trying to knock down. You were trying to knock it off with this
creative.
number one.
And I would have laughed. I gotta be honest with you, I would have laughed.
So funny, but it's so funny with the way things happened in the last 3 weeks. You guys wouldn't have been able to push it off because in the background there would be his Lego item with the dynamite and the switch to blow it up himself because of the fact that he's destroyed his success. I'll see if I can put it together. I think you'll love it.
We need the Lego bunny. Make it happen. And it's interesting because when it all started, gosh, it's been over a year ago, he got clean and he apologized, and I accepted his apology. Like I said, I don't hold a grudge. I have this time. I'm not going to forgive him for all the crap he pulled, but I'm over it. But he did apologize, and I accepted it, and we talked for a while, and he would really get on my case for swearing. And I'll tell you this, I am pretty... No, I'm not. I was intolerant of being told how to talk. And eventually I was done with that. I wanted nothing more to do with it. And as far as I knew, it was done, and then it started back up at Christmas, and I probably have had 100,000 Indonesian, Russians, and Iraqis follow me since Christmas. I've had accounts tell me that they're going to go after my family. He has threatened me with a restraining order. He has mentioned my address where I live in a passive-aggressive way. You know, at the end of the day, he's been harder to deal with than the left I've worked with. And I say that not lightly. I'll tell you that. The left, I was excited to see my typical haters when I came back to Twitter. I was like, yay, yes, I'm a racist. Thank you. I'm glad to see you. It's like, please attack me normally. Yes, I'm a horrible bitch. Thank you. I needed that. And for me to come back, it was really hard. I'll be honest with you. I did not want to come back. But at the same time, if I didn't come back, you know, I lose. So I'm back, and you're here, and I'm so excited that you came out to talk to me. I will be honest with you. I've never really listened to his show. People, you got to hear him. He talked about you for half an hour, and I'm like, I really don't care, whatever he needs to do. But I did listen to a piece of it, I guess, last week or something, when a friend was trying to tell him, you know, come back, you're more talented than this. And it was unfortunate because I think it was Alan who was on the air with him. I wish I'd had a chance to hear you and do your show, because I haven't had a chance to hear you do the show, because like him telling you not to listen to me, I didn't want to listen to you because I didn't want to give him the numbers. But now I need to know what is your show about, Watson?
Okay, so basically, you know, kind of what I've done is I came on the scene about September, at the height of a lot of the Ferguson stuff. Sure. You know, I'm a Caucasianly challenged conservative.
Caucasianly challenged. I'm male challenged. I got you.
You know, so for me, one of the things that I don't like is, you know, that there's this horrible misrepresentation. There are these lies out there. There's a lot of this propaganda. And, you know, there's this false narrative out there that you can't have black conservatives, you can't have black libertarians, you can't have blacks who are not basically on the dole. And I wanted to speak out against that foolishness. I really wanted to speak out against the corruption. I mean, I've been speaking out against the corruption of this administration since day one. I have been all over this president even before he was elected. And I hate the liberal progressive nonsense that basically tells people, you know what, just sit back, take from the people who worked hard for it, and you just enjoy. I think it's wrong. You shouldn't be doing this. I've been delivering papers since I was like 13 years old, and I think I've only had like 1 year where I wasn't working since then. So I understand what it means to contribute. And when I see conservatives who are contributing, when I see America falling apart because we have so many leeches killing us, I've got to speak up about that. And so I'll talk about politics. I'll talk about faith. I'll talk the gambit. And you know what was interesting was I wanted to see where you're going to go with this this freedom of religion thing that's going on here in Indiana. And you know what? You're right. I mean, why do we need to create a law to protect the law we already have? Let's just get out of all this craziness. Stop trying to force people to do things. And here's a simple thing on it too. You know what? If you go into a store and they don't like you because of your color or your sexual preference, you don't need a law to penalize them. You penalize them by taking your money to their competition and giving them the money.
What do you know?
That's how you do it.
Right? Crazy. Let your dollars decide. Don't go to some attorney and say, I want to make them pay. Make them pay by going to their competition who's going to serve you whatever you want because they don't care who you are.
Exactly.
I don't get it.
So, you know, it's just insane. And I had one person, and, you know, she's very liberal, but, you know, she keeps it straight. She could be your alter ego. I'll have to talk to her again. But
the liberal rabbit. Be afraid.
Yeah, the liberal rabbit. I'm going to call her that from now on. But, you know, I asked her, you know, she was getting very mad about, you know, this law that was signed. I said, one, did you read the law? I said, before you get angry about it, did you read the law? She didn't read the law. I said, so let's go this way. You're black. should a black baker be forced to cook a cake for a KKK member that has a picture of someone who is being hung
Oh, God.
or burned alive?
Oh, God.
You know,
What a horrible
and so
cake.
they said,
yeah, go
well,
ahead.
no. They said no. I said, so then why
Absolutely
should you do this? So why isn't that same courtesy extended to a Christian or someone else or whatever? Why
Right.
not, do that? And they're like, well, you bring up a good point, And I said,
Wait a second. And that's been the reality of that discussion. What I think is really interesting is, I'm Catholic, but I would not call myself overly religious. And so I have these discussions, and what I'm finding from the people who are really irritated with the RFRA is that they hate religion anyway. They have a real
Yeah.
problem with God. They have a real problem with Christians. And you say to them, okay, fine. Where in the law does it say that? Well, I know they meant it. No, but where in the law does it say Christians can discriminate against gays? We hate the gays. Where is this? It's not in the law.
Exactly. It's not there. And you know what? One of my friends brought up even a better question. So let's say the NCAA, Disciples of Christ, Gen Con, all these other places decide that they're going to boycott Indiana. They don't want business coming here anymore. They're banning all the flights. Well, guess what, people? There are successful businesses run by homosexuals in Indiana that are going to now lose business because you chose to boycott Indiana.
Well, and
Hello?
they really are hypocrites, especially Apple. Apple making a big deal about it. You look where Apple has factories. They're in the Middle East. And what do they do to homosexuals in the Middle East? They hang them.
Thank you.
They throw them off buildings. Give me a break. Give me a break. It's all about what is convenient for agenda now. How can we hurt the right? And really, this is not about the right. It was started by a Democrat 22 years ago, but written by a Democrat. I don't know how to make them understand that this is not about them. And it really has become, everything is about the LGBT, everything. But I'm sorry, let me go back, because I had a really interesting message from a gay Republican today. And he said, please make sure you justify that it is the rad left LGBT, because we agree. We think the law needs to be in place because people are idiots. So I have to give a shout out to that, because it was a Republican. He is gay, and he said, please make sure when you say these things that you say it is the rad left. They are, and they really are, because I have lots of gay followers, believe it or not. And I was talking to a lesbian, and she said, these people are crazy. And I'm like, well, they're giving you a bad name. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
When conservative acts crazy, who really needs to be the one to pull them back in? It can't be the left, because they're enjoying it, like dump gas on it, We have to be the ones to pull them back in. They need to be the ones to pull them back in.
Wow.
And I think, that sounds like I'm being, I am being harsh, because I'm tired of it. We need to be adults in this country and finally figure out that our feelings don't matter, and that people don't have to like us, and people don't have to accept us. That's what's called freedom.
And that's where, so I'm going to say something that might be completely unpopular that a lot of people are not going to like, because I'll even go back to even going back to the issue of segregation. That people fought against removing the whites only, whatever, no colored things. And again, it gets back to the fundamentals. If these people don't want your business, take your money elsewhere. Everybody keeps fighting so hard, Sam, for a piece of the pie. And the one thing I've always argued, why are you going for that pie? Why don't you make your own pie? Make them come to have a piece of your pie, rather than you sit here and fight for a minuscule piece of that pie. And that spirit of creating the pie is what's missing. And that's where I think conservatives have a chance to make more pies, and a lot of people will actually start leaving the liberal progressive movement and start moving and paying attention to us, because we're actually providing something that they can enjoy.
That makes so much sense. And you put it in such a way. I like pie, but you put it in a really good. It's a great analogy, because you're right. They're so busy saying we need something that's not ours. Why not create something that's yours? And we've lost that. I mean, we have. And to tell you the truth, it comes from both parties are so busy trying to get elected, they're not really talking to people anymore, and that's a huge part of it. But the left has always been about, you are victims and you need us to take care of you, so you better vote for us. We're not doing a good enough job saying, we believe in you and you're capable. We're too busy being angry and defensive because we're always getting told how we hate people and that we're racist and that we're homophobic, because we don't feed that mentality of can't. I cannot sit back and talk to someone and say, okay, well, Watson, you're, Caucasianly challenged, so it's not your fault if your life sucks. No, I'm sorry. If your life sucks, you got to work on it. You got to make it better. And I'm not going to be popular talking like that, but that's what we need to be told to do better and be better. And you hit it on the head with the pie, man. And thank you for not saying cake. I'm so damn sick of cake.
Well, it's so funny because my son has always had this crazy statement. He always says, I like pie. It would be the most awkward times. We're just driving down the highway. I like pie. We're like, okay.
How old is your son?
He is 15 years old, and he just cracks me up.
My son is 7.
But,
yeah.
You hit the nail on the head. As you sit here and you talk about, they're so busy worrying about re-elected that they're not worried about, there's people who put you in office. I mean, look at where we are now. We just had the Republicans take Congress, and what have they done since the beginning of the year? Diddly squat.
Nothing.
They've
done nothing.
We put you in office and you've done nothing. You've just kept the status quo.
They don't want to make
they
want to get elected. They're scared. They're scared that the moderates are going to go, well, you were too conservative, so we're not voting for you. They don't get it. They don't understand that they need to do sometimes you got to do things that are not popular because they're the right things to do. And that is what is so, I think that's what's so challenging about being a conservative is we're always the ones saying no. We're always the ones saying it's got to be something different. We're not really the party of yes. We're just not. Give me. No. Earn it. Then that's, in the end, that makes people better and stronger, don't you think?
Exactly. And, you sit here and you say, you know what? Why don't we fulfill what the president said in 2008? If I don't get my things done, I'm a one-term president. Well, we knew that was a lie because he wasn't going to honor that. And I think any conservative who runs for office and just say, listen, I've got one term to do exactly what you put me in here to do. And I'm going to go out blazing. And if it fails, it fails. But I'm going to let you know, at least I tried everything I told you I was going to do. I came here. Right. I represent this city. I represent this state. I represent this country. I need to get these things done, period.
Yep. And if I go out, I'm going to go out swinging. And that's just that's my mentality anyway. I can never be a liberal. I'm far too temperamental. I don't know what the word is. I'm far too demanding, I guess. I don't know. But I can never be that, the mindset of, oh, it's okay that we suck. I'm just not like that. I can't accept it. I'm judgmental. I don't know.
You can't be a politician because they never let the chainsaw in the building.
Oh, God, if I was everyone's like, Bunny for president, I'm like, can you imagine the State of the Union? Beep, 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 and this America, beep, beep. No, it would never work. And to be honest with you, I'm too honest. I cannot be a politician because I will tell you the truth every time, whether you want to hear it or not. And again, that's I think why either sometimes my tweets and my show is not for everyone, and I'm okay with that. Watson, I need people to know where they find you because I want to make sure that people can hear your message. You're spot on. The pie thing was great. Where do people find you?
Well, they can go and find me on battleforfreedom.com. I'm www.battlefor4freedom.com. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back on the air on Tuesday nights, Monday or Tuesday nights. I'm trying to figure out which one it's going to be, but I'll start putting those announcements out there where people can follow and see when the show is going to be. But that's the best way to follow me. Follow me on the website there. You can see Battle for Freedom on Facebook as well as I'm also on book projects right now that I'm trying to get a second book of a trilogy out by this summer, because of the fact that the last one was released last year. So I'm getting the second book of a trilogy that I finished a couple of years ago, finally out to print and onto Amazon Kindle.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, do me a favor when you get going with your show again, make sure you tag me so I can promote you to my listeners. I know they'll want to listen to you as well, okay?
Yeah. Well, you know what, and I want to do something for you right now too, because I think this is who I've always been, and I don't want to escape that. Heavenly Father, I just want to lift up Bunny to you right now. She gets a lot of attacks. She receives a lot of hatred because of some of the things that she says. And there's one particular individual who is misguided and makes it a mission to go after her and try and trouble her. So I'm just praying for her and her family. I'm praying that you would just put a hedge of protection around her, that you would even quiet the spirit of this troubled individual and to have him move on to pursue other things rather than harassing people. And I just thank you for her willingness to forgive me and her willingness to bring me onto her show, which is truly appreciated and welcomed very much. So bless her and her family. In Jesus' name, amen.
Oh, thank you for that. You know, that is the first time anyone has ever done that on the show. You know, and I usually would tell people, if you make me cry, I'm going to punch you. But I like you way too much to do that, Watson. But thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And again, you know, thank you so much for being a human being and for talking to me like a human being. And I'm really glad we're friends. And I'm so glad you came on the show. It was really good talking to you. I'm going to have to let you go. I got like a minute and a half left. I will see you in the Twitter sphere. You take care, okay?
Take care. God bless.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was so awesome. I swear I'm not going to cry on the show. We're about done here, folks, but before I go, I want to wish you all a happy and blessed Easter this weekend, and thank you for being here tonight with me. I will be back next week live on Wednesday night here on K98talk.com. Please be here and help us blow up that chat. It was so good to see all of you and be back. I will talk to you next week. Again, happy Easter, and take care. I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.
Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien.